We survived. I think we got to red stomach warning at one point, but
yeah, it started getting off yellows. We did one more roll and I was like, yeah, we should probably head back.
You know when it's time, right?
Yeah, you do. My name's Chris McGonigal. I'm the new product manager here at Sporty's Pilot Shop, also referred to as the flight sim guy. I have my commercial pilot's license and an instrument rating. I've been flying aircraft for about 10 years now.
but he's never spun one, so we're gonna fix that today.
I'll just crack the canopy to get you some air. Alrighty. How you feeling?
I feel good.
Okay, cool.
I know what you were doing with flying the pattern. That helped.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Chris did great, but this flight outside the usual envelope definitely melted his brain.
So we're doing a right pattern from the 45 degree?
Left pattern. Sorry. Runway is right there.
Yeah. So you're going to fly overhead and join? That's what I would do.
Yep. Yep, that was a bad radio call on my part.
That's okay. You just spun your brains out.
Yeah.
Got the RV-14 out for a pretty cool trip. For this one, we flew to Ohio in late February, and the weather was definitely challenging. But this is what it's all about. I'm really excited to be flying operational IFR in this airplane now. I have my friend Jay with me. He's working toward his instrument rating next.
CFTGA, I'm going to have a southbound heading for you shortly. There's a 4-mile gap in between two areas of moderate precip. We're going to run you right through it.
IFR flying, it's all about the gray decision making here, right?
You know, for all the cliches, I believe that and I do enjoy that.
And RVCFTGA just had a caravan report moderate ice down there right by India 69. The exact term he used was it was pretty hairy to go through that precip.
Okay. Roger. We're going to look at diverting.
Flying here is going to be its own episode.
So what we could do is sit here and wait for it all to go away and then go night the quick VFR leg to get there.
We're visiting Sporty's to check out a prototype new sim product.
POH is a demonstrated crosswind, it's not a limitation. Say it with me. Kick.
It's the Yawman Arrow controller, and a unique feature of this thing are the mechanically linked rudder triggers.
We took all of the controls of an aircraft like this and we put them into a handheld.
So that'll be its own episode, but for this one, we're going to take Chris, who's a fairly experienced American pilot, for his first spin, among other things.
So majority of my flight time is in a Cessna 172. So of course when Steve reached out to me about going inverted, I wasn't going to pass at the chance.
Make sure to do it beforehand so you're not green.
That's like 9 airplanes doing run-ups.
Welcome to the first good flight school day in 4 days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh my God. There's literally 8.
What are we seeing here?
There's 8 flight school airplanes lined up. It's like LaGuardia on a Friday night. We haven't had a good day the whole week for flight school flying, and we're going to get after it. All right, guys, have fun.
I love sharing all aspects of aviation, but taking people for a first aerobatic ride in the RV-14 is definitely my new favorite thing. And you've got the sick bag somewhere where you can get at it.
Sick bag is here if I need it.
Clear prop.
Come traffic, 2135 Sierra, departing runway 4.
Check 1, 2, you got me?
I got you. Can you hear me?
Yep, and that's normal for the inrush current. If it's charging, which it is because I updated the panel yesterday, so I used a bit of battery power for that.
All right.
Oh yeah, it's giving me the database mismatch because I didn't update this panel. I'm not worried about that. Okay, so for frequencies, that's the practice area, correct?
Yep.
And that's
12275, yeah, that's practice area, and we're currently on CTAF here.
so that's kind of all we're gonna need.
For this episode, I'm not going to cover normal ops and all the checklists, but you can see I've got the iPad securely mounted so it's always accessible.
I'm just running through the checklist I just did for pre-start and start.
Sounds great.
My plan for this one is to give Chris control for most of the flight once we're at a safe altitude, mostly to preclude motion sickness.
So as you can see, we kind of do have to
traffic,
S-taxi this
2135
thing.
Sierra, left
Yeah.
base, runway 4, climb on.
So I'm going to do a run up now.
Okay.
And then for departure, I'll do the takeoff, and then once we're like 300 feet, I'll just be pulling the power back to climb, and I'm going to give it to you.
Okay.
We're going to climb for 110
I'm for 110.
or faster,
Line
but
traffic,
not slower.
2135 Sierra, final runway 4, climb on.
I wish my stomach would have been able to keep up, but what really was valuable to me was breaking a mental threshold I experienced during training. Throughout training in a 172 at a 60-degree bank, holding altitude for a commercial steep turn, you're holding about 2 Gs. So 2 Gs was always kind of my ceiling on what I could do in an aircraft. So when I got in one with Steve and we exceeded that, it really opened up my eyes to what an aircraft can do, the right type of aircraft, and helped me to grow as a pilot.
All right, right up complete.
All right. What's rotation speed?
Well, it's 60-ish, but we're not looking at it.
Understood.
We're gonna lift the tail, and then it's gonna happen fast.
Okay.
So really, with an airplane like this, you're gonna confirm airspeed's alive, engine's good, and then not looking back at it.
Understood.
Because it's real easy to lose control on the ground. But you'll see why it doesn't really matter, because there's not much time.
Gotcha.
Its canopies locked, harnesses are tight, takeoff briefing. We got a pretty, it's not a super long runway here, but what's off the end there? Is there options straight ahead?
Straight ahead, just to the left of centerline, there is a field.
Yeah.
To the right of that, there's some valleys, but field to the left of centerline would be our goal.
Okay, so we're gonna keep any problems on the ground, but as I just said, we're not gonna have a lot of time on the ground. So I'm not gonna consider a turn back below like 750 AGL. Nose will come down, and we'll be able to turn back, make it work. If not, we're landing straight ahead. I'm going to climb to 300 or so above ground, start setting climb power and give it to you.
And there are no loose objects in the cockpit for aerobatic flying, so I love having ForeFlight rigged securely for checklists and everything else.
Controls free and correct. Transponder VFR, which is rich, prop is full fine. Time, 7, toga. I got toga just for a flight director, but you're not really going to look at it. You're going to just pitch for the speed and then go for it.
Sounds good.
Put this on traffic. Okay, so I got nobody on base. Nobody on a final. That guy's taking on the roll. And climb around traffic. Foxtrot, Charlie Golf Alpha, yellow RV, taking position runway 04. We'll hold position for the departing traffic, and then we'll be departing to the practice area southeast for Charlie Golf Alpha. Is that correct, southeast?
Yep, southeast.
Give him a second, because we'll be fast. Okay, one last check of these. Ready to go?
Ready to go.
Here we go. Rich, fine.
Clear on traffic check, 236 sector, turning left, downwind runway 4, clear on.
Power set, temperature and pressures are good, airspeed's alive. That's what I'm saying, there's not a lot of time to check anything.
That is fast.
Okay, your controls.
My controls.
You have control.
You have him in sight.
Traffic, 2135,
Alright.
And pulling power back to climb.
Clear County traffic.
Trim as needed for 110.
Turning crosswind for runway 4, clear on traffic.
So spins are obviously not required in the U.S. for primary training, so most pilots haven't done spins. When Steve asked if Chris wanted to go up for spins, I thought absolutely, great idea. There's a lot of talk about upset prevention recovery courses in the U.S. or flying aerobatics, and those are great. But I think some pilots are intimidated by the idea of taking a formal course like that. It almost feels like getting a type rating or something.
Dual aircraft.
Yeah, she's snappy.
Claremont traffic, 2135.
Yeah, it's going to be busy on that frequency. Should we change to practice area frequency?
Sounds good to me.
You want to say goodbye to them, or we just told you already said we're leaving, right?
Yep, we are all set.
Okay, so that's practice area frequency up.
Okay, thank you. And you have the controls of the throttle?
Yes, sir.
All right. Claremont practice area, RV-14 is going to be practicing maneuvers between 4,000 and 6,000 feet, 3 miles to the east of Moscow. Claremont practice area.
So, as far as I'm concerned, you can start doing some S-turns, we'll clear the area, and that'll also give you some feel for the aircraft. I'll put a G meter up here for you, but I won't have you looking at it, but I'll be able to call it out all the time. So that's what we got to with Jay the other day. I'll reset that so we get your own score.
So you get your own score, I like that.
I take a picture after. It's always what I give people, because I can't. They always ask me 3 weeks later, what did we pull again? It's like, I don't remember. But if we do loops and everything, we'll get to 3.5 at least.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, start getting her in the 2G range just to get yourself warmed up.
Okay.
Sometimes the best thing is just to go up and go beyond 45 degrees of bank and go beyond plus or minus 10 degrees of pitch. You know, move the controls to their full deflection. And I think that's sometimes the best value in an experience like this is, even if you don't have time for a formal training course, just go see what the world looks like from there. And of course in the RV with the big bubble, the visibility is so good that I think it makes a real impression. So I thought it was great that Chris got to go up with Steve, and I think it's great videos show people that a spin is not a scary thing, and even if it's not required, it can be a great thing to go up and see what it feels like, see what it looks like, and if nothing else, just know what your airplane can do.
All right, I'll do one more, get us to this heading, and then you can show the first one. How about that?
But I want you to pull yourself to 2 Gs first.
Okay.
Yeah, just sustain that, just get yourself warmed up. So I used to always start with rolls, but I had a more experienced guy tell me it's easier if you start with a loop, because you don't induce any lateral issues for the people's ears. So it will be more Gs, but it's all level. Like we won't be doing anything weird to unity here from a lateral perspective. So if you're comfortable with more G, we can do a loop first.
Heading northwest, southwest.
So that was the autopilot taking over.
Oh, sorry about that.
That was a stick. Okay.
Actually, that may not work for a certain amount of time. Let me just let her reset. Yeah, that's cool, right? That's
yeah,
the
that is
ESP.
Cool. It started giving me feedback, and all of a sudden I was like, I'm done trying to give you information about taking over.
That's my aerobatic checklist. We weren't really in it yet, but there you go. So if you exceed, I think 60 degrees for 10 seconds or something, it'll take it. So now I can probably do it without it arguing. So ESP disabled, ESP disabled.
Roger that.
And it shouldn't take it again.
All right, so you mind if I take this to closer to 70 or 80 degrees now?
Yeah.
All right. Let's aim for about 2.2 Gs if we could.
Yeah, and if you need to descend a little bit in that, in order to hold the G, you may have to, just go ahead.
That is fine.
Yeah, and we're not even close to making the angle of attack upset yet. So when I'm maneuvering, you're going to hear the angle of attack beeping and chirping because we're going to be pushing the angle of attack limits, but we're not going to be asking more of the wing than it can give us.
Okay.
So if it does happen to buff it or something, an accelerated stall, I'll just unload a little bit. But you'll hear the angle of attack chirping and being a little unhappy.
Man, that is cool.
Yeah. So when you get us to 45, actually, just because these clouds are like right at 4,000, it seems.
All right.
And then
climb to 4.5.
Yeah. Maybe what I'll do is I'll show you a wing over first, which is like almost a loop, but it doesn't commit, and then it's not all of the G.
Okay.
So you know what a wing over is?
I do not.
Kind of end up vertical. You really get slow at the top, unload everything, and just let the nose fall through. And you're kind of knife edge, and then you end up going the opposite direction.
Okay. Sounds great.
So it's kind of like avoiding a loop almost.
All right, I'll roll out on this heading.
Okay.
And your airplane.
Have control.
You have the controls.
Okay, so for a wing over, I'll just reduce the power a little bit to like 22 inches. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
State practice, skeleton of the Square Lake, 2,200. Heading Powell back to state, final call, state practice.
And then the G comes back. Opposite direction. And you can smell a little bit of fuel because we got light. Almost to 0. And up to 3.
That's like because my understanding is the hammerhead, you go up and you just kind of...
That wasn't a hammerhead, that was a wing over.
Okay, right.
Hammerhead is a different deal.
Okay.
I didn't really use any rudder for that. That was just letting a tiny bit of rudder to engage it, but then I let the roll take over and we fall through. Okay. The hammerhead is straight up until you have almost nothing left, all the rudder, and you kick it over.
It's kind of like an aggressive lazy 8.
Yeah.
Kind of you continue through it, I don't know.
Sure, yeah. Cool. Yeah, so I'll just come around and we'll start, I guess, the same way you had us there for a loop if you're feeling it. You feeling good? Actually, why don't you do this, just be in control, so you do this turn.
Okay.
Your controls.
My controls.
So we'll get to a little more G for the loop, and we won't go negative if we do this right.
Okay.
We'll get light at the top. I'll just bump in some power, so we're at like 24.
All right, your controls.
My controls. I'll just let her accelerate back to about 150. Alright, you ready for a loop?
I'm ready.
So it's going to be about a 3.5 G pull, a little bit of right rudder on the way up, and then less rudder, we're going to float the top, we'll be all nice and light. So we're going to start looking straight, and then once the horizon's gone, I'm going to look left. If you can see my wing, you can look left. That's typically what we do. Or you can look at your wing, and then once the horizon's back, we're going to look forward.
Okay.
Alright, here we go.
Climate kind of practice, 53417 is just east of Felicity at...
Alright, now we're looking at the horizon on the wing.
Traveling north,
the loop was enjoyable because I expected the amount of G-force at the beginning.
And then introduce the pull.
But I was surprised by the amount towards the end.
sync rate.
That's normal. Traffic fails when you're upside down.
Sounds good.
All right, your controls.
My controls?
And right back, restart at 5,000. That was actually not a bad one.
That is really cool.
But I managed to keep it under. I did go to 3.5, so I'd be gentle for you.
Wow. Well, I'm feeling good if you want to take it up to 3.5 next time.
I've watched videos. I understand that the face can sometimes get dragged down as you're rolling into it. But as you recover and you're leveling back off, there's quite a bit there too. So that was very enjoyable for me to experience, and one that next time I fly aerobatics, I'm going to try and do again.
Okay, speed is good, 5,100 feet. We'll just do it again. So I'll pull a little bit more G on this one, so we won't be quite as slow at the top.
Okay.
Traffic not available. Caution, sync rate.
Not bad, 51. I love it.
That is great.
Your controls?
My controls?
Okay, just go ahead and do a little bit of whatever just to make your body feel like you're inducing your own G's.
Okay.
Or if you need to fly straight and level, whatever you feel you need to do.
So how about this? Let's do a roll, and then after that I'll be comfortable starting to do stuff.
Okay.
Talking me through it. Because I want to see one of those, and I'm still feeling great.
Okay, sure, yeah. So a roll is just going to be a bit of an aggressive pull to 20 degrees, and then all the aileron without pushing or pulling, really. So it takes a little bit of rudder entering it and less upside down and a little bit more in recovery.
Okay.
All right, so we'll just do it for 5,000 settings, or I'll just reduce power a little bit. All right, you ready for a roll?
I'm ready.
Traffic.
That's great.
Your controls?
My controls? Wow. So quick.
Yeah.
County practice area 40.
So if you're feeling good, if you want to try that,
Okay.
so just you pull, don't yank and bank. So 20 degrees up, and do that visually if you can instead of looking at the instruments. And then give it as much aileron as you can. It's pretty strong, like it's a firm on the controls airplane going this fast.
Okay.
We can get going a little bit faster, so pitch down a little bit just to be maybe 150 or 140 when we start.
Understood.
And just don't push or pull in the roll. I'll guard it from that. That's where you might be tempted to go negative. But you got to make sure you have enough pitch up when you start, or we end up in a dive. So if I say I have control, it's because we end up in a dive and I'll fix it.
Understood.
Okay, so start level at whatever, 55 is fine.
Okay.
Okay, so go ahead and pitch up.
Here we go.
Aggressively though, get there so you don't waste your energy. Go, 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 go. Okay, roll. Well, yeah. Let's get it more aggressive.
Just by 3417 is just.
So, yeah, should we turn around? Are we leaving the?
Yeah, let's turn around. Okay, so more aggressive on the pull.
Yeah, and more aggressive on the roll. But so take control, just turn us 180.
Okay.
You got it?
I've got it.
So because you're kind of not confident with the pull, you're burning off energy.
I see.
You want to get there, roll. And then again, like you kind of introduced it a little gently, just give her. As long as you're not yanking and banking at the same time. I don't want to torque things.
Yeah.
So what, you pull, stop the pull, roll. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
a little bit, back to 155, and then try again.
County Airport headed back to Plain City, back to Ohio State.
It's a better mistake to make to be gentle than overly aggressive. So that's totally normal to do it that way in your first try.
Ready?
If you're ready, I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Just a pull, 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 and roll. All of it. There you go. And then recover. Yeah, so just try to recover, and then, you know what I mean? Just don't try not to yank and bank.
Okay.
So finish the roll, recover.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah, one thing at a time.
Let's do it again.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed flying the roll. That was the one maneuver I myself flew. What I admired about it is the precision required. For instance, Steve walked me through full left stick, back to neutral, and then back a little bit as you're finishing up the maneuver. And it's a way of making sure it's not lazy, or it's precise. And I saw a little bit of parallels between instrument flying. You know, the accuracy with rolling out on a course or keeping an ILS right where you want it. And again, it was the one maneuver I flew myself.
I'll take us down to 5.5.
Yes.
I'll go level for a little bit to get airspeed back closer to 155, and then we'll enter.
So going this fast, we need a bit of left rudder. I also don't have the wheel pants on right now, so she's out of trim.
Okay. All right.
Yep. You're going to pull to 20 degrees. Keep going, go, 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 and roll. All of it, all of it, all of it. Yep. And recover. Well, yeah, and then another dive. Yeah.
Okay. So I need to be more aggressive about that.
Just try to, you see the aerobatic pilot brake to neutral, and then the next thing. So if you're rolling, you're not rolling. You're rolling, you're not rolling. You're climbing, you're not climbing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just so that it kind of helps you not do two things at once, because you don't want to be diagonally trying to get out of a thing. If you're pulling G's, that's just yanking and banking, not good.
Gotcha.
Okay, I don't know, your controls?
My controls, I will admit my stomach is starting to give me yellow flags, so I'm up for maybe another...
But we got to spin.
Oh, we got to spin? All right. I'm up for a spin.
Okay.
My first spin was eye-opening. The spin was always kind of referred to as the boogeyman throughout my training. It was a emergency we never wanted to get into as a student pilot. I have the recovery acronym in the back of my mind. I've probably chair flown it upwards of 50 times. And I always like to think I knew how it was going to go, but until I actually got in the aircraft, we went almost 3 full rotations. I saw the recovery procedures, I saw the amount of time devoted to it, which fractions of a second feel like minutes. It was very eye-opening and helpful as a pilot to experience that firsthand. And I think it's one that every pilot should go through at least once just to understand this emergency.
There'll be a spin to the left, at least 2 rotations.
Okay.
Half, 1, half, 2. Got my watch caught on my belt, which is why the recovery took a second. My watch was like, right when I hit a push. All right, you have control?
Controls?
That brought us down 1,000 feet.
Wow.
How was your
That's
stomach?
Cool. Stomach is almost saying red flags.
Okay, take us home.
Take us home. That was cool.
Yeah, she's a pretty good spinner, eh?
Yeah.
That was classic. See this thing? My watch was like,
oh yeah, got stuck.
Yeah, so we went for another ride of about a 3/4 rotation while I was trying to recover.
All right, so I will get, let's see, we just did some spins. Here's the lake. Airport should be that direction. Okay. I'll bring us down to pattern altitude, about 2,000 feet.
Hey, you want me to call, say we're departing the practice area or whatever?
I can do that. Claremont practice area, RV-14, departing the practice area, head back to the airport. Claremont practice area.
All right, I'm going to re-enable ESP, so we're out of airbag mode.
Fun switch is off.
Fun switch is off.
Grid on 125, back to India 69er, Claremont practice area.
Is being in control helping recover your stomach, or?
Yeah, it's helping. It's helping.
All right. Okay, so you fly the whole pattern, I'll take care of power.
Okay.
And I'll configure and I'll talk through what I'm doing. And I'll take it on final. Does that sound good?
That works for me.
Yes, center carriage, make sure prop to go, switches. I'm secure, you secure?
I'm secure.
So pump come on. All right, and then we're going to go to Unicom now.
Sounds good to me.
And what's pattern 1850?
Yes. Yeah, 1850.
Let's call it 19 on the bug.
When Chris hesitated to answer about pattern altitude for his home base, I knew this meant his brain was definitely a little melted.
So what's your plan for the pattern entry?
Aircraft on the east side, you ready to go?
Let's see, runway 4, we're heading in.
We're departing on 4 eastbound, thank you.
So we're going to do upwind. Oh, we're going to be on the 45 downwind, quite well.
Claremont County traffic.
So I'll make that call in a second.
33 Romeo, standing crosswind for runway 4, Claremont traffic.
Let's see, what's our distance approximately?
I haven't got it in there, but I can tell you right now.
Sure.
4 miles.
Thank you. Claremont traffic, RV-14 is 4 miles out on the 45, left downwind, runway 4, Claremont traffic.
So at that point, I knew he had himself turned around, but this is a great example of how doing something new can change your task saturation limits.
So we're doing a right pattern from the 45 degree?
Left pattern, sorry. Runway is right there.
Yeah. So you're going to fly overhead and join? That's what I would do.
Yep, that was a bad radio call on my part.
That's okay, you just spun your brains out.
Yeah.
And then after getting himself recombobulated, Chris did a great job flying the rest of the pattern.
Teardrop at 2500, come on.
Is that him calling a teardrop? I don't know what the hell's going on with that.
Yeah, it's a little busy. The other one is 1400 beneath us, okay?
That's
good there.
It's
a busy day.
I got downwind traffic in sight, nobody else?
Nobody else.
So we're following him.
So I could make an entire episode about flying the pattern on a busy day at Sporty's, but let's get to the landing.
All right, if you're ready, I'll work radios. I'd like to give you the airplane back.
Okay, I got the airplane.
Your airplane.
500.
Okay, traffic, Piper Patch, East Crosswind, 04 summit.
Bird. Okay.
Here, Romany's rolling clear.
I don't like going underbirds, but I didn't have a choice on that one.
Yep.
And he was making the turn, so we went with it.
Clear traffic, RV14 is short final, runway 4. Clear on traffic.
I make the warning for the turkey vulture, if you can.
Traffic, 23866, Victor, turning left base, runway 4, clear on.
And there was a vulture on short final for runway 4, just a heads up.
Backfire normal.
And Jay got a beautiful shot of me dropping a 3-pointer on from a little bit too high.
What'd the meter get to?
Oh yeah, I forgot to get the picture.
How's your stomach feeling now?
I feel great.
Yeah?
Yeah, I
got to fire it back up.
Got to find the pattern. Got to almost 4 and almost 0.
How green do I look?
You look pretty normal to me.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
thanks for that. Man. That was a great opportunity.
What's your favorite maneuver?
Loop.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Yeah, me too.
That was a lot of fun. That was great. Rolls were more fun than expected. I thought it'd just be okay, but it makes sense to pitch up and then keep your altitude. And then a spin, first time in one, and
really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you don't do them here.
We did 2 full cycles.
Awesome.
Well, more than 2 because my watch got stuck on my seatbelt.
Great.
So I couldn't recover. So we ended up doing like another 3/4.
Yeah.
I had to get my right hand in there.
So we'll round it up. We did 3.
It was about a 3 rotation.
It was cool.